Katrina Ann satu ketika dahulu pernah mewarnai sukan tanah air negara sebagai seorang perenang berirama yang cukup terkenal. Katrina sekarang buat apa? Dah lama tak dengar khabar? Menghilang ke mana?
Sekarang tengah duduk kat Sydney, finishing up my masters.
Dah berapa lama kat sini sebenarnya?
Rasa dalam 4 tahun sekarang. Yeah. I moved from Monash University kat KL to UNSW dekat Sydney. Finished my undergraduate in information systems, and then now I'm doing my master's in information systems, and then sambil-sambil also coaching untuk Australia.
Coaching for the Australian national team or one of the clubs?
For both. So I coach for the Sydney local club, but I also coach the Australian national youth team. So in 2019 we went to the World Championships.
Boleh share sikit tak? How did you manage to coach the Australian national youth team?
So dekat Australia, the way that it works is that every year the coach is gonna apply for the position. So it doesn't mean that like you have one coach that is the national coach for like 4 or 5 years. Every year, maybe like new coaches will apply, and it just depends on whoever they think is best suited for the role. And with the youth team as well, because the category for the ages will change. So it really depends on like the talent that you have, the athletes, and whoever is in the country and is probably best suited to lead the team.
The program kat sana still jalan lagi tak? Does the team still
train? Yeah, the team still train. So at the moment, the national team is working towards Olympic 2021, and I may be helping out with that. We will see like in the next couple of weeks. But yeah, so a lot of the programs have stopped. Kadang-kadang like kena like macam kat Malaysia juga lah, like Zoom training, the budak kena dekat rumah during programs and things like that. But it's a bit different as well dekat Australia, because dekat Malaysia kita ada Bukit Jalil and everybody's centralized dekat Bukit Jalil. In Australia, everybody is spread out, which is an even more challenging issue, because then as a coach, you're in charge of the entire program, tapi your athletes will be in different states. So you really only get to interact with the athletes via online or helping out with, or like giving their local coaches programs, and then coming together a few times a year for training camps.
I mean, I don't know if you know this, but synchronized swimming after the KL SEA Games, the program is non-existent lah. Are you sad to hear that, or are you aware of this situation?
Yeah, I definitely am aware of the situation, because my teammates are the people who are affected by it, especially after KL SEA Games. But I guess after the Kuala Lumpur SEA Games, there has been a lot of budget that has been readjusted to support, I guess, more of the athletes who are going for the larger competitions. It's a bit sad that synchronized swimming, we don't have Commonwealth Games, for example, which would probably be a different story. If we did have Commonwealth Games, we might get more funding for it. So it is sad, because there's really no one in synchronized swimming in Malaysia at the moment.
Are you afraid, if the situation continues like this, that the program will go backwards, because kita ada dream to go all the way towards Olympics and macam tu kan?
Yeah. So I think at the moment, like my ex-duet partner, like the dream is still alive for her. Like she's still training for it. She's still trying to get there. But obviously, because there's only, I think, 2 girls at the moment who are involved with the national team training, and we don't have enough, I guess, resources and support. So it's highly unlikely that the sport itself will go anywhere, because we don't have enough development and grassroots. Like we don't have a youth team in Malaysia. We don't have an under-12 team. We don't have like a junior team. Like this is what you need in order to be able to nurture the athletes up towards the point where they can actually try to go for the Olympics. Like without any of these developmental programs, there's really no way that Malaysia can ever hope of one day qualifying.
Going back to you, living the Olympic dream through another platform, another outlet, is that still fulfilling for you?
Well, it is, because in Australia at one point I was applying to be one of the coaches on the Olympic track. So I guess in a way it was kind of my way of achieving my dream, but not as an athlete, but as a coach. But at the time it was a bit difficult, because it was a full-time position, and I'm in university and I'm finishing my master's. So there's really isn't a way for me to like pursue coaching full-time. And in August as well, like I'm working as a technology graduate with Accenture. So it really is like a balance. I'm still involved because I love it, but I'm also pursuing my career.
Do you think the Olympic dream for you can extend sampai Paris 2024 instead of Tokyo 2021?
I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what opportunities arise.
Of course, I have to ask you about your sister, Farah, who's already qualified for the Olympics. But COVID is pushing her dream now that 1 year, almost 1 year, kan?
Yeah. I think for her, yes, it's been mentally quite challenging. Like even speaking to Farah, like it is very frustrating, especially, you know, as an athlete, when you know you've been working towards something for so long, to have that pushback. But then on the other hand, it's been really good as well because she's had injuries. So the extra year has given her time to not push through her shoulder injury, like to give it the time that she needs to do rehab and physio. And now I think she's at like one of her peak performances physically. And she's actually now able to, like, she doesn't have to train through pain. And I think that's what we want for her, because we want for her to do her best at the Olympics, and also like not have to try to push through pain and maybe make herself even worse, like injury wise.
So Katrina, will we ever see you back in Malaysia helping the sports that you love, or?
Well, I guess it depends, right? Like at the moment, there really isn't a lot of development in Malaysia. And doing any sort of sport, like we do it because we love it. So I think it's also great. Like the club in Malaysia, like the swim academy, is still running synchronized swimming programs, and I'm still involved there as someone who helps with programs and like guides the coaches. So that's still going on, and I'm still involved with that, in terms of synchronized swimming in Malaysia. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see what the future holds.
Any kata-kata semangat for your former teammates who still has that Olympic dream in their mind and their soul?
Yeah, I think no matter what, if it's something that you really, really want, like at the end of the day, you just have to give it your all. Like you give it your all, you do your best, and you leave it all on the mat, on the floor, in the pool. Like as long as you've given it your all and there's nothing else left to give, like that's it. Like whether it comes true or doesn't, you know that you've done your best. And I think as athletes, that's really all we want to do. We just want to be in peak condition, perform at our best, and know that we've never left anything behind.
All right.